Ever tried putting ketchup on ice cream? Some combos just shouldn't work, like pineapple on pizza, or say, Liechtenstein and Angola teaming up. It sounds impossible. Can you imagine the world's tiniest, richest European country merging with a vast, vibrant African nation? We have, and let me tell you, but before we start the video, give us a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Don't forget to tell us our next idea. It's the ultimate odd couple, like a Chihuahua and a Great Dane sharing a kennel. This isn't your average international partnership, so buckle up. This wild ride is just getting started. Meet our contestants, Liechtenstein and Angola. Liechtenstein is tiny, just 160 square kilometers, tucked between Switzerland and Austria. That's about the size of a decent farm. But it's wealthy, famous for banks, and ruled by a prince. In the other corner, Angola, nearly 8,000 times bigger. Angola is vast and diverse, with rainforests, deserts, and a treasure trove of oil and diamonds. While Liechtenstein enjoys peace, Angola rebuilt after decades of civil war. Two nations, worlds apart, one a fairy tale, the other a story of resilience. What if you mashed Liechtenstein and Angola together on a map? Welcome to Angolastein, a country where the Alps dip into the Atlantic and absurdity reigns. Two regions, the Alpine district and the Savannah territory, separated by continents. The in-flight meal? Cheese fondue and peri-peri chicken. Good luck. The capital? Not Luanda or Vaduz, a brand new city on the Swiss border. Tourism posters, incredible. Logistics, a nightmare. Angolastein, a country of beautiful, baffling extremes. Now let's get the leaders in a room. You've got His Serene Highness Prince Hans Adam II of Liechtenstein and His Excellency President João Lourenço of Angola. This meeting would be one for the history books. The prince, representing a centuries-old monarchy from one of the world's most stable nations, and the president, a former general who has led a sprawling post-conflict African republic. The small talk alone would be worth the price of admission. It's like a prince from a fairy tale meeting, a battle-hardened hero from an action movie. The vibes would be immaculate. Imagine their first joint press conference. President Lourenço, a man used to dealing with big-picture issues like infrastructure, oil production, and regional stability, would be standing next to Prince Hans Adam, who probably spends his afternoons discussing bank regulations and the optimal time to prune the royal roses. A reporter asks, "Your Highness, what is your biggest security concern?" The prince might say, "Well, last week a tourist's drone flew a little too close to the castle." President Lourenço would just blink slowly, thinking about the thousands of kilometers of border his part of the country has to manage. Their dialogue would be comedy gold. "So, João," the prince might begin, sipping a delicate cup of tea, "I was reviewing our national budget. The expenditure on official state vehicles seems quite high." President Lourenço, leaning back, would reply, "Hans, my friend, some of our roads are not exactly paved. We need land cruisers, not your fancy electric smart cars. Unless you want your finance minister to be carried to his next meeting by a friendly elephant?" The prince would nod thoughtfully, making a note. Investigate elephant-based transport, potentially eco-friendly. It's a partnership built on mutual good-natured confusion. But here's the thing. They might actually get along famously. The prince brings financial genius and a knack for quiet, efficient diplomacy. He could help streamline Angola's economy and turn it into a powerhouse of stability. President Lourenço brings experience in managing a large, diverse population and vast natural resources. He could teach Liechtenstein a thing or two about resilience, passion, and how to throw a proper national party. Together, they'd be unstoppable. One handles the money, the other handles, well, everything else. It's the perfect division of labor, a political dream team nobody saw coming. Angolastein's culture would be a wild, joyful blend of contrasts. Imagine a national anthem that starts with a regal brass fanfare, then drops a kizomba beat, making everyone want to dance. Kids would learn both yodeling and semba in school. The national dish? Muamba de galinha com caça spätzle, Angolan chicken stew over cheesy noodles. And the drink? Liechtenstein schnapps with marula liqueur, the Alpine sunset. Art and music would fuse, with Alpine horns jamming alongside Angolan guitars. Even daily life would mix laid-back vibes with punctual buses. The best of both worlds. What more could you want? The list of public holidays in Liechtenstein would be long and wonderfully confusing. They would have to keep all the old ones and add a few new ones to celebrate their union. First up, you have Liechtenstein's National Day on August 15th, a day of fireworks and free beer at the Prince's Castle. This would now be celebrated across the entire nation. Imagine the scene in rural Angola. Thousands of people gathered, watching a massive fireworks display over the savannah, all raising a glass to a prince they've never met, who lives 6,000 kilometers away. It's a party. Who cares about the details? Then you have Angola's Independence Day on November 11th. This is a huge deal, marking the end of colonial rule. In Liechtenstein, the usually quiet streets of Vaduz would be filled with the sounds of carnival music and the smell of Angolan street food. The local brass band would try its best to play a semba rhythm, with hilariously mixed results. People would trade their formal suits for colorful fabrics, and the prince would probably be required to show off his best dance moves. It's a day of vibrant celebration that would shake the sleepy alpine valleys to their core. But the real magic would be in the new, blended holidays. They'd have to create Unity Day on the anniversary of the merger. This would be the biggest festival of the year, a week-long extravaganza. In the Alpine district, they'd host a massive outdoor barbecue with Angolan-style grilled meats, while in the Savannah territory, towns would set up enormous communal fondue pots. It's a day for sharing food, music, and a general sense of bewilderment at how this whole thing actually works. The official slogan for the day would be Angolastein, we don't know how, but it's happening. Another new holiday could be Resource Day, celebrating the nation's combined wealth. In the morning, everyone would have to file their taxes with ruthless Liechtenstein efficiency. It's a solemn, quiet affair. But in the afternoon, the entire country would erupt into a massive party, celebrating the oil and diamonds of Angola. It's a holiday that perfectly captures the national spirit, fiscal responsibility, followed by a joyous, no-holds-barred celebration. It teaches the kids a valuable lesson. First, you do your accounting, then you dance until dawn. That's the Angolastein way. So, what have we learned from this ridiculous thought experiment? We've learned that combining a tiny, rich, and orderly European principality with a vast, vibrant, and resilient African nation would create the most wonderfully chaotic country on earth. Angolastein would be a land of contradictions, a place where yodeling meets kizomba, and cheese fondue is served with a side of peri-peri spice. It's a nation that makes absolutely no sense on paper, but in our hearts, we know it would be an incredible place to live. It would be the ultimate proof that opposites don't just attract, they can create something spectacular. This fusion would be more than just a funny headline. It would be a lesson for the world. In a time when everyone is focused on what divides us, Angolastein would be a shining example of radical, joyful unity. It would show that you can bring together wildly different cultures, histories, and geographies and create a shared identity. The key ingredient? A good sense of humor, a willingness to try new things, and a national airline with a very generous baggage allowance to transport all those ski boots and safari hats back and forth between continents. The national sports team would be an absolute force to be reckoned with. In the Summer Olympics, they dominate in basketball and handball, thanks to Angola's athletic prowess. Then, in the Winter Olympics, they'd surprisingly medal in tobogganing, because if you can navigate Luanda traffic, you can definitely handle a frozen track. Their football team would be a beautiful mix of Angolan flair and Liechtenstein discipline. They'd play with tactical precision, right up until the moment a player decides to try a bicycle kick from the halfway line, just for the fun of it. In the end, Angolestein would be a beautiful, bonkers, and brilliant mess. It would be a testament to the idea that the best things in life are often the most unexpected. It's a nation built on a dare, a fusion that sounds like a punchline, but ends up being a heartwarming story of partnership. It would be loud, quiet, chaotic, orderly, rich in spirit, and rich in, well, riches. So, let's raise a glass of schnapps-infused marula liqueur to Angolestein, the world's greatest imaginary country. May its existence be as prosperous as its banks and as vibrant as its carnivals. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content.